So that in that song, the lyrics ask, "Are you a cool kid? Are you a cool kid? Do you fit it and do they like it? Tell me what can you do to make it okay, to make it look like you don't want to be like them."
Yeah.
So there is a quote which I really like. Success isn't about being the fastest. It's about being consistent.
One bubble that Gen Zs have created for themselves is don't tell me what to do.
Like, have you heard the famous quote by Marshall McLuhan that says, "We shape our tools, thereafter our tools shape us." And I think that's exactly what's happening today.
Gen Z, the most online generation, the most anxious generation, the most talked about generation, that somehow still being talked about more than talked to. Today, we are flipping 4 student, 1 topic, no filter. We are calling it Problem with Gen Z. Not because we think problems are unique to Gen Zs, because every generation gets put on trial and it's time Gen Zs cross-examine itself. Jai Hind, my name is Kumkum, student of IIEBM Indus Business School, batch 2026. Let's get into it and welcome off script. Today, to talk about Gen Z's problem, we have Gen Z's with us. Please meet Geet Saraf, Amlekha Naidu, RN Pathak Chaturvedi, and Kirtana B. So, let's start. So, my first question is from you, Geet. Is Gen Z's shrinking span attention real or just misunderstood?
Okay, so I honestly think that it's real and not just older people complaining about us. Just think about it. The moment we wake up in the morning, what do? We reach for our phones, we scroll Instagram, we open our WhatsApp, we scroll YouTube shorts और brain का काम शुरू हो गया, full speed, non-stop. Is that constant dopamine chase that we are looking for? Is that dopamine hit that we are looking for? And I think that's the real problem. That's the core problem for the brain rot of the Gen Zs. I've heard about this in a podcast of Andrew Huberman. He said, to develop and to build focus in any activity and to produce a good outcome, you have to work on it for 20 to 21 minutes.
Correct.
And I don't think that's happening right now. In today's time, like Gen Z while studying, 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and what is happening? Suddenly out of nowhere, we are like, okay, let me just check my phone real quick. And then we all know how it ends, right? There's a book by Jose Silva. It's called The Silva Mind Control Method. In this book, he states that the moment we wake up in the morning, our brain is in the alpha state. In this state, our brain is much more receptive, meditative, and we are much more focused. But the moment we reach for our phones and we start scrolling, we get a lot of flooded with information and distractions. And then our brain enters in a much more alert state called the beta state. And in this state, we are less focused, more distracted, a lot of anxiety kicks in, and as a result, a shorter attention span happens. Therefore, definitely, I think technology definitely has its impact on shortening and reducing the attention span of the Gen Zs. What do you think about it, Lekha?
Lekha, counterpoint.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit misunderstood. I don't think so. Gen Z has suddenly become incapable of focusing. I do agree our attention span has changed, but Gen Z being incapable of focusing, that's not something I'd agree with. Like, have you heard the famous quote by Marshall McLuhan that says, "We shape our tools, thereafter our tools shape us." And I think that's exactly what's happening today. Because when you think about it, we are growing up in a world where there's constant notifications, constant alerts, short form content, and there's so many much more informations we are always looking up to. So now that I really think about it, it's just that environment is changing so rapidly that our brain needs time to process it. It needs times to adjust, right? So calling Gen Z being infocused or are not focused is not something that I would agree to. We could binge watch an entire series in one weekend, isn't it? And we have prepared for CAT. So I do think that we put so much of ours in CAT, and we can build a whole business from our home. So I don't think so that's true.
Right.
Aryan, what's your take on this?
First of all, I would like to say both of you have some amazing points, and I'm gonna build on both of your points. So first of all, yes, the productivity hits. The productivity of a Gen Z have taken a hit because right after you wake up, looking at the mobile and not thinking about how your day is gonna be, is that's what hits the productivity. And rightly said by Lekha also, even I think, even I think that attention span is not shrinked, but our ability to focus, our ability to take care of our boredom is changed. So yes, we can binge a series, we can, study for competitive exams where we sit for hours and hours and study, and also we see a 3 hour podcast. Don't worry, guys, this is not that long, but yes, we have that, ability to focus on things. So attention span is not shrink. It's just that the time the how we take that, how we take the boredom and how we cater it is something which is changing now because of the ample of information, the ample of content that we have. We often tend to just distract ourselves to do something which is not that productive. Because one more thing that I have to say is good things are always not that fun to do. Sometimes it is boring to do, and now that we have so much of distraction, we sometimes get distracted by those things.
Yes.
So yeah, I would like to say that every 15 to 20 minutes a smartphone user checks its phone, which is like 58 times in a day. And as you said, it takes 23 minutes to regain that focus and focus on something which we are doing already. So that is a problem, that our productivity level has gone down because of the distractions that we have. But I think it is the attention span is not shrinked. It's just we have like ample of content or ample of distractions to have.
Kirtana, has this shown up in your own life?
Yes, I honestly think all of you made a valid point.
Thank you, Vipul.
But if I look at my own life, I feel our attention depends on what we are doing. There are days like I just opened my phone to reply one message, and suddenly I have spent 45 minutes on watching videos I have never even searched for.
Ask me about it.
Yeah, and that's happened almost all of us. So we say like we take 5 minutes break on Instagram, and somehow Instagram hears 1 hour subscription. Yeah, but there is an interesting part.
Yeah.
During placement season, I could sit for 3 to 4 hours solving my aptitude questions because I knew exactly why I was doing it.
Correct.
So for me, I don't think Gen Z has a short attention span of time. We have short attention span on the things that don't feel like really interesting or engaging. So
Correct.
that's my opinion on this.
True.
So my next question, Geet, tell me, laziest generation or most burnt out generation? Which one is it?
Okay, so I honestly think that we use this word burnout too casually. I genuinely think that we use this word burnout too often. You know, real burnout is something really different. One heavy assignment, one busy week, and suddenly we are like, yeah, I'm so burnout. You know, I can't do anything. Bro, that's not burnout. It's just Tuesday.
Okay.
Right? And I think burnout is something different. I feel like जब हम हर चीज को burnout बोल देते हैं, we kind of disrespecting the people who are actually going through it.
Correct.
Burnout is something that you are so exhausted that you're not able to function properly, mentally, emotionally, you be it physically.
Correct.
And that's how it somehow separates the thing. You know, not every challenge is a burnout. It's just the discomfort that comes along with the growth.
Correct.
Every meaningful goal that you want to achieve in life, whether it be cracking an interview, getting placed in a good company,
Correct.
or whether it be starting up a business, it is supposed to be difficult. That's how growth works. That's not burnout. And I think somehow, some way or the other, the Gen Z is ignoring that fact and running away from the fact. And I think sometimes what we need is not a Netflix break or a self-care day. What we need is to sit down, bring discipline, and get the work done.
True.
That is my take.
Lekha, what's your pushback on that?
Actually, I do agree to some aspects of your points, but calling Gen Z lazy is not something that I would agree to again.
I agree to you.
Yes, because think about it. In our previous generations, we just have different exhaustion points. If we think about our parents' generation, what do they think? Their whole life path was what? To study well, get a job, and to build your career onto that. But now that's just the starting point for us. We have so much things to do. We have to work on internship, we have to do the certifications, we have to bring our personal branding, we have to do so many ample amount of things to do. So talking about burnout, yes, I do feel at times we use burnout as in a lot common than it is necessary to use. But actually we are also very stressed now. We are always in between work, stress, and the things just keep going. Even if I rest, I feel like, okay, someone else is being productive. That's not, and I'll have this guilt about. So I do think that burnout is used commonly, but calling Gen Z lazy is not something I'd agree again.
Aryan, where does that data land on this?
Calling Gen Z a laziest generation would be too simplistic. I think every generation has people who don't work hard, and every generation also have people who work hard. So it is not being Gen Z being lazy. I think it for us it is harder because we come with a lot of expectations. With the social media coming up, we are comparing ourselves with the people coming from the west or with the people who are around us. Now I am not comparing myself with a person who is in my class, but I'm comparing myself with a person who is sitting in maybe Bangalore or maybe New York or maybe Canada or somewhere else. So yes, now we have expectations to stay fit, to build a personal brand, to network, to invest, to and do n number of other things which comes with the generation. So it is easier to say that Gen Z taps out very easily, but we have a lot of things going on back of our mind to complete which we could never complete. So that is a kind of a feeling which resonates burnout. So I think if we try to cater our priorities and focus on that, we would be able to handle our, chores that we have in a day or the to-do list that we have in a day. So if we do that, our burnout will be too less. But yes, with this coming age of comparison and with this coming age of, being out there and doing everything which is being overproductive is what I mean to say, is something that we can avoid.
Kirtana, you don't have to pick a side here. Just tell me your honest view on this.
I honestly think that it's not as simple as choosing one side. Let me go for both of the sides. So, yes, we are completely burnt out and we are constantly comparing ourselves with people our age who already did internship, startups, or amazing careers. And that pressure is real. And at the same time, I also feel like we are giving up too quickly. So, there is a quote which I really like. Success isn't about being the fastest, it's about being consistent. So, if the things don't go properly in 1 month and we immediately say that this thing isn't for me, so I think we should develop some patience over it and work on it. So, being exhausted is real, but discipline is necessary. So, that's what my point on this.
Amazing.
So, Geet, tell me, has social media made Gen Z more connected or more isolated?
I genuinely feel like social media ने हमें connect तो किया, but we have never been more disconnected. We already know what everyone had for their breakfast, which cafe they went to, what their Monday motivation is. But tell me something. When was the last time you had an actual, real, meaningful conversation with someone?
Right.
A real, meaningful, deep conversation.
Yeah.
When was the last time? And that's the weird part, you know. We have got hundreds of followers, thousands of views. Still, at the end of the day, there's this feeling of emptiness, like kuch to missing hai. And I don't know if there's a singer called Kayan. She's from Bombay. Her song is called Cool Kids. I don't know if you guys have heard about this song. Okay, yeah, I know. So that in that song, the lyrics ask, "Are you a cool kid? Are you a cool kid? Do you fit it and do they like it? Tell me what can you do to make it okay, to make it look like you don't want to be like them."
Yeah.
The song highlights something which is really fascinating
Correct.
and a bit sad.
Yeah.
Everyone is just trying to fit in.
True.
Everyone is just seeking validation and trying to prove the society that something that they are not,
True.
right? I genuinely feel that we are not making memories anymore, guys. We are just making content.
Lekha,
That's all.
Is that fair?
So for me, I feel like social media has not just connected or isolated something. It just magnifies whatever relationship we had with social media. For example, think about it. 10 years ago, if you had a very rare hobby, like clicking photographs or something, to find your community, it's very difficult to find your community. But now that you think about it, social media has somewhere connected you to this. You can find your own community, you can find your friends, you can go together to cafes, you can build just so much onto social media. People has built their I have seen people build businesses through social media. So that is not something that it magnifies, it isolates or connects. It just amplifies whatever relationship you had. And to talk about its social comparison, there's a theory, social comparison theory, that basically means that social media has not started the comparison thing. It has already been going on from ages. Like if you see, our parents are what they are they are always compared to the neighbors. Sharma ji ka beta, we've all heard about that. So it just it just glorifies that whatever relationship you have with social media.
Aryan, what's your view on this?
So, very well said by Lekha. I think you are reading my mind or something because I have the same opinion about it. But yes, social media, again, it's neither has isolated us nor it has brought us any more connected. So yes, we are connected in the sense of that we can connect virtually to a lot of people, and maybe we communicate with them once or twice, but in the end, it's just you in your room sitting alone, and you don't have any person around. We from the plans from coming out of WhatsApp group and literally going making the plan and executing that is a long shot goal for a lot of people.
Yes.
But no, on the other side, I just think that uh, me as a professional have made a lot of connections on LinkedIn, which has really helped me to grow my business. And also, a lot of friends of mine who are living abroad, who have shifted to abroad for studies or like just to shift there. We are connected on Instagram and WhatsApp, and I get the updates of their whereabouts through Instagram. I get to see their faces on FaceTime and WhatsApp video calls.
Yes.
So that is something which is perk of the social media. But then yes, something which is not very much okay with being just social media friends is that we cannot hang out together. So that is something that I miss in today's age.
So, Kirtana, give us a real example.
I think I actually connect both sides here. So social media helped me to learn new skills and also to connect with people where I would have never met otherwise. It's funny that we have always connected with Wi-Fi, but sometimes we are disconnected from ourselves too. But if I am being honest, if I see others' achievements in online, I can able to start questioning on my own progress, whether I am doing correct or not. So for me, social media isn't just the villain. It's just a tool. The way we use it decides whether it becomes a bridge or a wall.
Correct.
That's my opinion.
So, my next question, Geet. Is wanting flexibility and purpose entitlement, or just Gen Z doing it differently?
I genuinely feel that this flexibility and purpose talk is just entitlement dressed up in a nicer language. Like every generation wants flexibility, every generation wants balance and meaning in their life. But the only difference that I observe is that our parent generation actually put in the work first. They are ready to mold themselves and then ask for it. And that is not is happening right now. What I observe is the Gen Zs are entering into the workplace. I have heard this podcast of Simon Sinek, and he say that the Gen Zs are working and entering in the workplace. On day one, they are expecting literally everything. Too much, too soon. Like flexibility, purpose, meaning, good life, good work-life balance, perfect salary. I all get that. All that makes sense to me. सब valid है. But you have to mold yourself according to the workplace environment.
Exactly.
You have to mold yourself according to the business, according to the dynamics of the place where you work.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening right now. And every career has a grind phase. You have to have patience in the beginning. You have to dedicate yourself and commit yourself to your work.
Correct.
And that's where I think we are lacking, the Gen Zs are lacking. I genuinely feel that patience is not the weakness, patience is the strategy. Yes, I agree, flexibility is the right, but trust करना होता है process पे.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think like on this?
So I have this question: since when did flexibility is proportionate to entitlement?
Exactly.
So just think about it. Our parents' generation had been always loyal to one company, has built their career towards the company. What does it result in?
Yeah.
Getting laid off during restructuring.
True.
So I think Gen Z is just being precautionate. Also, they are focusing on their own mental health. They are focusing on things that are necessary. Like, think about it. Even now, the companies are right now focusing on flexible work hour schedules, remote works, because they have seen that there's better performance of the employees while doing so.
Aryan, does the data back that up?
Yeah. So for the very first time, I am agreeing to Geet. Yeah. Very well said by you. And I have a very like kind of mixed opinion about flexibility and purpose. So I think it depends on two things. The flexibility part of it. That the one is what is your scope of work, what type of work that you're doing, and two, how well versed are you with your work. Talking about freshers asking for flexibility, I don't think that should be a thing, because when a person is starting his first job or his or her first job, whether it be creative, whether it be technical, whatever it is, I think going to that office, going to that particular space and learning things hands on by your seniors is something which is very much important.
Yes.
And it's because you are not just learning work, you someone can debate upon it and say that कि अरे भाई वो तो हम सीख के आए हैं अपने MBA कॉलेज से या फिर from the certification that I've done CFA or whatever. But the thing is that you are not only learning how does that company works in that particular domain, but it is more about how the structure or how the corporate works, and experiencing that for the first time. How much ever you say that कि it can be done on Google Meet or it can be done on Zoom, that is a very big no-no. We have seen in COVID how Google Meet meetings are being done. Those are not productive at all. So I think go as a fresher or as a person who is taking a job for the first time, he should definitely go to the office. He should definitely learn from the seniors. He should definitely take on that experience and take on that uh, wisdom by their seniors. Yeah, once I think the whole what do we say? The flexibility part comes with trust that you have as as an employer
Exactly. Yes.
have on an employee. That once he knows that you can do that work, you will be
Then-
given the flexibility that you want.
True.
And also when it comes to the purpose part of it, I think first few years of any person's job working in any particular domain, he should just work it out. He should just work for like good 4 5 years and explore what are the particular niches of his or her domain. It's not just like I've known for the from the very first day that what I want to do. But some people have that. Some people who does the noble job, some people who goes to the army, or some people who wants to be a doctor, they have that purpose in their life. But some people don't have that, and they just have a perception of having a purpose, that I know that I want to do something in finance, but they don't know what are the insights of finance. There is mergers and acquisitions, there is valuation, and there are too many things. So once you do the job, once you get in that, and once you get the experience, you know that okay, this is what my niche is. This is what I want to do. So yeah, that is what I feel. Both like purpose and flexibility should come with time, or should come with experience, I would say.
Kirtana, has this come up for you personally?
I feel like every generation has a different definition of success. So our parents valued job security more, and that's what most important in their time. But we have seen generation, it's very different. We have seen people who works very hard and still lose their jobs.
Correct.
So having said that, everyone wants to be an CEO, but no one wants to be an intern first.
Yeah.
So it's okay for flexibility, but we have to develop some willingness to learn.
Correct.
So that's what respect at work isn't demanded, it's earned.
Yeah.
So that's what my opinion on this.
Yes.
Truly.
Last one, and I want real answers here, no deflections.
Got it.
So, Geet, what's one real flaw of Gen Z? Not what others say, but what you actually believe.
I think we are terrible at sitting with discomfort. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
The moment life gets uncomfortable,
Yeah.
a difficult conversation,
Yes.
or a decision we don't want to make,
Correct.
what do? We start a show on Netflix.
Hmm.
We binge watch a series.
Right.
And what do we tell ourselves? Yeah, I needed that break. That was self-care. Let's be honest, that wasn't self-care.
Exactly.
That was just us running away with extra steps. I genuinely feel like social media has made escaping so easy that we just have to unlock our phones and within seconds we have distracted ourselves. Right? And it's actually very bizarre. Like growth and comfort can't live in the same house. If you choose comfort, growth is going to go away. That's how it works. और हम कुछ face करते ही नहीं है. We just delay it again and again. Procrastination is the real core problem over here. That's what I feel. Earlier we used to face problems और आज हम notifications face करते हैं.
Right.
Right? That is what is happening. And I think procrastination is therefore the core problem. Procrastination, I think, has the best rebranding campaign ever.
True.
Procrastination is a face mask labeling itself as taking mental rest.
Right.
Right? And that is what I think on this. That's my take. What do you think, Lekha?
So for a change, I'd like to agree with you. We confuse protecting our peace with discomfort. So with that, I would also like to say that I'll be forever grateful for Gen Zs to openly talk about mental health, anxiety, which are actually very necessary, which was not normalized before. But with that, I would also say that taking everything into toxic culture, like genuine feedbacks which we could get, that would actually help us to excel in the future, we should also take that in account. And also, if I talk about this, there's this popular saying that no tree can go to heaven until its roots are deeply in the hill. So that is something I would like to say. It happens at times now that we have to face the discomfort for future growth.
So, Aryan, what's your take on this?
Okay. One flaw about Gen Zs. As I am myself a Gen Z, I am scared that I would be killed for this. But
Yes.
please don't kill me for this. But yes, I think there is one shortcoming with Gen Zs. One bubble that Gen Zs have created for themselves is don't tell me what to do. Because
That's exactly.
that is a very sometimes it can be wrong at places because as we all know, abundance of information that we have gotten, we have misunderstood that by having experience or knowing everything, which is a problem because you cannot know everything without human interaction or without experience and experiencing that particular thing yourself. So yeah, I can read about making a chai, but I would be love to be taught by my mother or my sister or everybody else. So that is something which is very important, that you cannot every time rely on information or be in a illusion that I know everything because I have access to so much of information out there. But sometimes it is important to go out there and talk about what is going on and to just take some guidance, take some help from your elder ones. Maybe they have something that you want to hear. And see, of course, in the end, you have to do what you have to do, but that wise words can help you build on that. So, and also teachability. is a skill nowadays. As a Gen Z, nobody wants to be taught. Everybody wants to just preach. So that is something that is a skill nowadays, that be teachable. मतलब be a character or be a personality to whom a person will सामने से come and say कि maybe you can do it in a different way. Let me tell you how to do it. If that is the approach that सामने वाला is bringing from सामने से, that means he sees that fire in you, and that's why he's coming and telling you that particular thing. So yes, and just last one example that I would like to give of my brother Arush. So I was not very peculiar about my clothing back then, but when he started growing up, Arush, he was around 17, 18, and he got very much peculiar about his clothing, his sports gear. He plays cricket a lot. So the way he used to take care of all of the things, I used to feel like that. Why? What is the need of being so peculiar about he's doing just for social media or whatever it is? But when I really thought about it, I think that's how a gentleman is, whether it is about social media or not. I think taking care of your clothes or being peculiar about your fashion sense is something which is amazing, and which a guy should inculcate in his
True.
life. So that is something that I learned from him, and in general also I'm a person who take notes from each and every aspects of my life or each and every events of my life. So yeah, be teachable, stay always in the learning mode is something that can solve this flaw of Gen Z.
You just made me realize of my brother Ansh. He is also very particular about everything.
Yeah, same.
So, Kirtana, what do you want to say about that?
If I need to choose one flaw, I would always choose we are chasing what's next. The next internship,
True.
the next certification,
True.
the next promotion, the next mobile phone.
Yeah.
And somewhere in that race, we forget to enjoy where we are.
True.
So we measure our lives using someone else's highlight reel. And that's really exhausting.
She is very true about that.
Yes. And that's because even if we achieve something, we immediately start worrying about the next goal. We see motivational videos for hours and we are actually too tired to do the work. Yes. So for me, we need to slow down occasionally and celebrate small wins.
True.
Yes.
I would 100% agree to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, celebrating your small successes
Small,
is the
yes.
because that dopamine again, that dopamine that we
Yes.
talk about comes from celebrating the small.
And that's a healthy way to, rise that dopamine level.
And the motivation comes from that celebration. That
We should not need to chase the next milestone. We should slow down. We should enjoy things so that we can learn like where we are standing.
True. We can shake hands on that.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Every generation thinks it invented struggle. Every generation is wrong. What we heard today wasn't an excuse, it wasn't an apology. It was an honest look at what it means to come of age in a world that's moving faster than anyone can keep up with you. If this hits home, share it with someone still arguing about Gen Z in comment section, and we will see you in next episode. Jai Hind.